indeed, Laura. That's very kind of you. And it's nice to see everybody, well, meet everybody on the call here physically and logically. So my name is Anthony Cairns, Dr. Anthony Cairns now, I'm pleased to say. And my professional experience started in, just a quick recap, is 1982 in the IT industry. And 30 years ago, I specialized in software test management, quality assurance, governance, and those related areas. And I'm always interested in learning more, gaining more experience, and bettering myself over the years. Hence why you saw from the slide having gaining a master's degree, getting your fellowship in the British Computer Society, and the practitioner of the Chartered Quality Institute. So my current job with it is being like the CEO of a startup company and my own consultancy company. I wanted to be able to add more value to my professional approach into what I was doing and where I'm heading. So that's what made me look towards investigating into looking at a PhD. As a quick outline, my PhD was entitled, my subject of dissertation was an empirical investigation into improving solution delivery through the application of requirements engineering. So that's a bit of background about myself and what I was doing. And through my PhD itself, I managed to look at 18 gaps that were in that market area of research. 9 are resolved within the dissertation, and the other 9 is open for new students to select to focus on their dissertation. So that's enough about me personally without going to bore you any more details. So that's what encompasses me personally and my professional background. So next slide, please.
Dr. Cairns, so tell us, how come you decided to get a doctorate degree? You've mentioned that you wanted to provide more value. Can you expand on that, please?
Yes, certainly. Well, what I wanted to be able to do is to reflect the level that I was on with my career and my specialist area. So there was nothing to differentiate between me and other people who were doing similar type of work, but maybe is not as that in-depth a level. So to enable me to have an option to consider, it also gives me an option to consider things later on in my career as well, to do like part-time lecturing and even writing in the subject area. Because obviously if you want to write on the subject area, it can be very difficult unless you've got something like a PhD to show that you are the specialist in that particular area, and indeed the world-renowned expert on that particular question of this more traditional PhD approach that I took. And of course, after doing a master's degree, I actually missed the world of academia. I just, you either love it or you hate it. And I wanted to carry on something more. And the recommendation of my master's degree was to also undertake a PhD, which is what I did.
And what was the motivation behind your research? You wanted to become a specialist? You said the title of your research. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yes, certainly. I mean, from my experience, I knew that there were many things that weren't being done very well in the world of requirements engineering, with solution delivery in the IT world and in solution delivery overall within organizations. And I wanted to also provide something that adds more value to improving that process. So on my research within the dissertation, as well as creating a lot of answers to questions that I was encountering were existing, I also created a Cairns requirements readiness equation that I also plan to write a journal on, probably in the early part of next year. So that was the motivation and determination to do a PhD. So that's where it came from, really.
And what opportunities have you seen that the doctorate degree has opened up for you?
That's a good question. It means that not only does it add value to me seeking solutions and working ahead on what I'm developing in the background, but it also helps in the discussions I'm opening up with venture capital investment companies for my high-tech startup that I'm working on at the moment. So it gives me also credibility when I'm actually talking about the subject that the venture capital investment I'm seeking to get the startup further in progression. So it's adding more value and more credibility that my specialist subject and PhD relates to what I'm actually doing within the business itself as well. So a lot of value in that relationship.
And how do you feel that it helps you to stand out from other IT professionals or other professionals specialized in your specific field?
I think one thing that it does certainly gives, it certainly highlights the fact that I've been so determined to make a difference in the areas that I'm working and involved in, that other people just have ideas about something. They don't know whether it's right or it's wrong, or whether it's been addressed already. But by the nature of a research PhD, you're looking at every data that you require to obtain information to prove either it exists or there's a gap, and then you are addressing how to fill that gap. So you're bringing that amazing bit of new knowledge to the world that didn't exist before your PhD. So it's a sense of achievement at a big level as well.